I think there's people here that are working bartending, serving, housekeeping, whatever it is that your job is. Everyone has the same job description. Your job description is to give the guest the best experience possible. Now, how you execute that's completely different. If you're a bartender, if you're housekeeping, how you're gonna execute that is different. But everyone's job here is to give the guest the best experience possible. What percentage of communication is done verbally? Statistically, it's 7%. I can tell people whatever I want, and that doesn't mean it's true. If I'm saying, oh, I gave them really good service because I was talking to them, saying words, that does not giving them an experience. Your experience is not the words you use. The words you use are important, but what else do you think is important for communication? Your emotions, showing emotions. You can't speak emotions, you can just show them. You run into people all the time. You need to make that eye contact. You guys need to smile and answer questions and take your time because it shows that you care. Again, everybody's job here is important. No matter what position you are going to run into a guest. Does anybody here never ever interact with a guest ever? Of course not. You guys are always interacting with guests. The point is you have to be professional. Eye contact, smiling, take your time. If you can't solve a problem that they're asking for, I'm gonna take you to someone that can. Come walk with me, I'm gonna find someone. Let's go figure this out together. But showing that we care. 93% of communication is nonverbal. The leadership is the glue, period. I tell people this all the time. You can have the best training, the best systems, the best documents, all that stuff. It's not gonna matter if you don't have the leadership to uphold it. If you wanna see a restaurant that's functioning really well, if you wanna see a hotel that's functioning at a high level, go check out their leadership because they have to have good leadership. You don't just hire staff and they just execute at a high level. We're here to keep the engine running, to keep them motivated day in and day out. You guys are here to make everyone around you better. Not make sure they're doing their job. Yes, that's part of it, but ultimately to make them better. That's true leadership. Management versus leadership. Everybody has to be able to manage. That's kind of like service, right? It's a baseline. You guys have to be able to manage. You have to be able to make sure people show up, execute their job. But to elevate your position, you have to be leaders. So that means we're the example. You can't tell someone to do something if you're not doing it yourself, if you're not living and breathing it yourself. You always have to be leading by example because they're gonna end up doing what you do, no matter what. And we have to be motivators. If you want your staff to execute something at a high level, they have to have buy-in, which means they're bought into the mission, bought into the cause. Our mission, creating magical memories, they have to be bought into that. We can't say, okay, you're gonna create magical memories, okay? Do it. Create magical memories, okay? Do it. I'm gonna show you some examples. If you do that, that's not gonna work. We have to get them bought into that. What does that look like? Why are we doing it? We gotta be talking about that all the time. You know, if you're talking to your staff, if you're having a pre-shift or a briefing, if you're like, how did you create a magical memory yesterday? Talk to me about it. How are you gonna do it today? Talk to me about it. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you after your shift. I'm gonna see if you actually executed. I want you to focus. Every table you talk to, I want you to create a magical memory and I want you to talk to me about it. And then if you have a group of people talking about it and they start talking and sharing ideas, all of a sudden it becomes a way of the culture. But we have to start getting them bought in and we have to start leading by example. We have to motivate them, talk to them about it, why we're doing it, right? People are coming here and they're trusting us with their time and their money, two of the most valuable things to human beings. They're trusting us with that. They could have went anywhere else. They picked us, and that's why it's important that we execute at a high level. So we have to start talking about these ideologies. I don't feel comfortable being myself. I don't feel comfortable opening up. I don't feel comfortable asking questions to get to know the guest, to create a better experience. We have to break through those barriers by getting them outside their comfort zone. How are we getting them to open up? How are we getting them to improve? We can't just say, well, she's really closed up, so that's just it. I'll just have her do her job and give service and that's it. Hey, let's talk, right? Let's start opening up. I want you today to get everybody's name and ask them where they're from, every single person. And I want to have you report back to me, okay, afterwards. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to fight through it and you're going to get better. After a while, this is going to become natural to you. If someone's the same by the third season, that's a leadership problem. By the third season, I would say they should be able to talk to a guest with a lot of confidence. We're leading them. We're making them better, not just making sure they're doing their job. You should be observing, watching them, not micromanaging, but watching them, taking notes. You're not going to walk up to them after every guest, go smile, smile, smile every time, right? That's not going to work, but just watch them. Maybe at the end of the week, maybe at the end of the day, whatever your process is. Can I talk to you in my office? Listen, you're freaking awesome. Okay, I want to make you better. I want to get you somewhere where you're going to really feel comfortable. You're not improving just your job, you're going to improve your whole life, right? This is going to translate outside the workplace. If you can learn how to make connections with people, strangers from all over the world, You're gonna be able to talk to your friends, your family, your everybody with a lot more confidence. You're gonna change everything. I wanna get you there, all right? So here's what I want you to work on. We're gonna try smiling with every guest. I wanna see that you're making eye contact, and I want you to really try and ask them where they're from every time. And then every week, you have a list and you keep improving your staff. But we have to have these systems to improve our staff. If we don't, we're just managing, we're not leading. I went to a Mexican restaurant, it was in California, pretty expensive for a Mexican restaurant. And they gave us chips and salsa, and I got carnitas, and they gave me a special salsa with the carnitas on the side. And this salsa was amazing. It was so good. But they gave it to me in this little tiny container. So I kept asking for the server for more salsa. Can I get another side? Can I get another side? I love the salsa. She got me like 3 sides. She was super nice, got it for me quickly. Meeting my expectations, meeting them, right? I asked her for an extra side. She went, she got it with a smile. There you go. I was expecting that, right? Thank you. When I asked for a to-go box for the carnitas, she handed me the carnitas, and then she handed me a big side of that salsa in a to-go container. She goes, I know you love this salsa, so I brought it for you on the house. You can enjoy it tomorrow. I put some chips in there as well. That exceeded my expectations. That was something she didn't have to do. That didn't move the transaction forward. That elevated the experience, and I was so impressed. I wrote a nice review. I've gone back there multiple times, and I can't tell you how many times I've told people that story. Now, notice when I tell that story, I don't talk about how good the carnitas was. What did I talk about? The experience. I talked about what the server did for me. And make no doubt about it, when people leave your properties, if they're gonna tell a story, if they're going to give word of mouth, they're not gonna talk about the rooms. They're not gonna talk about the water slide. They're not gonna talk about the steak. They're gonna talk about you guys. That's when they start talking about how amazing this experience was. Hospitality versus service. Which one are we performing? Because again, if we're just checking boxes, if we're just meeting the guest expectations, we're falling dangerously close to service. Okay, so another thing that we want to focus on too is just making sure the guest feels comfortable. That's a big piece of the puzzle. Anytime you go out to a hotel, go out to a restaurant, you really, really want to make sure the guest feels comfortable. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. People will go back to places that they feel comfortable in. Have you guys ever been to a restaurant and you didn't feel comfortable to ask the server for something? Like, oh man, I want to extra side of the sauce, but the server seems like they're too busy, or they seem like they don't like want me to be here, whatever it is. I just don't feel comfortable asking that server for that extra side of sauce. I'm just gonna eat it the way it is. You should be their friend. They should feel like they have a connection to you. They should feel like they can go to you with stuff, right? I need some help. I know I can go to my friend here and they'll take care of me. If you're front desk, though, they should feel like they should be able to connect with you. They can call you. If you're a server, they should feel like they can ask you for anything. They should feel like they should be able to complain to you, right? Honestly, I didn't like this burger. It's really not good. And that's our opportunity to be like, first of all, thank you. Thank you for saying something, because I don't want you paying for anything you don't enjoy 100%, and I'm gonna make sure you get taken care of, so thank you. We wanna make sure they have that comfortability to come to you, because that gives you the opportunity to give them the best experience possible. If they feel comfortable here, fully comfortable, that's the best chance to get them to come back. They wanna know that you care. That's it, right? And in general, everybody that's been to a restaurant, hotel where they're saying, I'm never going back, it's not because your room was delayed. It's not because your steak was overcooked. It's not because it took you a long time to get sat. It's not because the food took a long time. That's not why you're never going back there. You're never going back there because of the way the people responded to those issues. So if you have an overcooked steak and they didn't care, you felt like they didn't care, that's why you're not going back. If you went to a hotel, they said you have to wait 2 hours past your check-in to check in, but they don't care, that's when you stop going back. So it's not about the issue, it's about the response. Service recovery. And that's the number one thing, is that we have to make sure our service recovery is number one. And in general, we want to make sure that people know that we care by giving them the best experience possible, always. Never say no to a guest. Never say no to a guest. Are we going to have to say no to guests? Are there things we can't do? Can we give everyone a complimentary upgrade to a suite? No, we can't. But we don't say no to a guest. We frame things in a certain way, right? If you're at a restaurant, hey, can I get that beef Wellington cut up 18 different ways? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do is I want you to see the presentation. That's important. It's a beautiful dish. And I'm gonna bring out a steak knife, and if you want me to cut it in half for you or something like that, I can make that happen. I'll take care of you, don't worry, right? We're not saying no, but we're also not saying yes. Can I get an upgrade to a suite? Let me see what I can do for you. I can't, but can I tell you something? Do you mind if I buy you a couple of cocktails to make up for that, right? Anything that we're getting creative, but we're not saying no, or just saying, because when someone says no to you and you're in a business transaction, no matter what, your instant reaction is disappointment. I've been in the industry for 20 years. If I'm at a restaurant and I order something, oh, I'm so sorry, we're actually out of that. Still, till this day, I get an instant reaction of like, oh, right? I'm just a little bit disappointed. I'm like, I want to leave. How dare you? Right? And then I have to stop and go, okay, that's natural, that's human, that's normal. That's your natural human reaction. We never want to say no. We always want to frame it in a positive way and offer a solution. Always offer a solution. Sometimes the solution is not going to be equal. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as they, again, what are they going to see if you do offer a solution? What are they going to feel like? That you care. And that's all we have to show them, is that we care. I'm not gonna, I want to make sure I accommodate you as much as humanly possible. Here's my solution for you. I want to talk about unconditional hospitality. I don't need anything in return. It's unconditional, right? If a mom loves her child unconditionally, the child could commit a huge crime. The child could get it, be homeless. Doesn't matter. That mom's always going to love her child unconditionally. We're giving unconditional hospitality, which means it does not matter what we get in return. It doesn't matter if we get a tip. It doesn't matter if the person reacts a certain way. It doesn't matter if they're nice back. It doesn't matter if they snap their fingers at us at one point. We're giving unconditional hospitality, which means we're here to give the best experience possible. Now, raise your hand if you say, if someone were to ask you, if the answer is yes, raise your hand. Do you have high standards for your work ethic? Yeah. You do? Raise your hand. Yeah. Be proud of it. That's our standard. It's to give the guests the best experience possible, to create magical memories through unconditional hospitality. That means that the guest is not going to lower my standard. The guest is not going to lower my standard. With their reaction, with the way they say things, nothing's going to lower my standard because it's a 10. My coworkers aren't going to lower my standards. My outside problems aren't going to lower my standards. I'm here to give unconditional hospitality, make magical memories, give the guests the best experience possible, no matter what. That's my standard. Anytime I lower that, cut a corner, decide to skip the passion selling, I'm lowering my standard, period. That's me lowering my standard. That's you lowering your standard. I want to make sure we keep our standards at a 10. Like you just said, everyone raise their hand. I have a high standard. We got to keep that high standard. How? No one lowers it. Or unshakable, right? That's true professionalism. And that's true unconditional hospitality. Do you guys agree with that? Yes, chef.